Again, thank you Ben Jaeger for assisting us in matchmaking. Yeah, today SLRN versus RDNN, and let's see if we spawn correctly, or at least somewhat good.
This is a weird one. I haven't seen this one before.
Huh. By the looks of it, maneuver if you just steer left and in a bit, so you're in front of Freddy. We should be good to go.
Yeah,
Effectively.
I need to maneuver a bit to get behind
You
Elgo.
want to move me in front of Freddy, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, please. And indeed, Claude, if you want, just steer right a bit and fall in behind Helga or in between the two of those.
No, I'll get behind Elgo.
Okay.
I is good steering.
Just sail away.
I'm about to do a little loop to the right to get behind him. And I'll give a holler when I'm ready.
Sounds good.
Gives everybody a good chance to start the game with loaded guns, right?
Who needs prepared anyway?
Yeah, exactly. In this kind of game, you don't.
Alright, I'm gonna be sailing at a nice battle speed.
When should we change channels?
Yeah.
Yeah. As mentioned, you have until the 30 mark. As in, if there's 30 minutes left on the clock, that's when it ends. And as soon as Hommel has parked himself behind Helger, I reckon we can go.
Right, so shall we switch and then we can type go in chat?
Yeah, I'm gonna drag you guys down so you don't need to move.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
User was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel. Out of your channel. Was moved out of your channel. User was moved out of your channel.
Can I leave like whenever?
Oh, yeah,
or just surrender?
whenever you're ready, you can just escape, leave. And again,
yeah.
thank you for doing this. It's helped you out quite a bit. Alright. Currently we're just looking at the sides are ready, SLRN, RDNN ready. Alright, ready steady. Let's have a look at what the teams are bringing. SLRN bringing a 2 Trink and the Cerberus formation against the 2 Trink and Cerberus formation of RDNN. We've seen RDNN in action earlier as well, and I think they won against... I'm trying to recall which team it was. On the top of my head, I'd say it was Danve, with a question mark at the end of that sentence, but not 100% sure. Irregardless, let's have a look at what both teams are bringing armament wise. We see Maneuver forming up the rear with a Carronade Cerberus, preceded by Snoopy with a Carronade Trink, preceded by Freddy with a carronade loadout as well. SLRN is one of the teams we haven't seen in action yet, or at least... oh, that seriously made me giggle. Alright. And they're gonna be fighting RDNN. So that's gonna be an interesting first match. RDNN bringing a carronade trink with a carronade trink, and I would be surprised if Cerberus has anything but carronades. And carronades it is. Alright.
Alright, have fun. I'm gonna leave.
Thank you, Ben, again.
User left your channel.
Ben did excellent here. Alright. SLRN seemingly acceptive of their leeward position towards RDNN. Freddy and Snoopy are both gonna get a shot off on Coldthorn. Helger is actually unable to return fire at Freddy, and if Snoopy turns fast enough, most of his shots will bounce for sure. Let's see how that broadside goes. He does mainly shoot the stern or bounce on the side of Snoopy, although Coldthorn did get a good broadside in. Maneuver shot one at Coldthorn as well, who's taken some damage and now is fighting the left side broadsides of Freddy and Snoopy. It's often understated the efficiency of being on the leeward side of the enemy, meaning more downwind of the enemy when you're gonna do a head-on pass and then turn back, because Coldthorn could shoot his right broadside, and when he turned right he still had his right broadside to the enemy, but Freddy and Snoopy and Maneuver on the past had their right broadside, but when they turned left they had the left broadside, which was fully reload, ready, steady, good to go. And you can see the damage on Coldthorn is quite heavy compared to what Snoopy has sustained, and that's just a benefit of getting the inner corner of such an engagement. What would have been interesting if Coldthorn would have denied, of RDNN in general would have denied the second pass, but it's always easier said than done. And I think Snoopy and Freddy are just lining up on Coldthorn again. Left broadsides are ready, and here comes the carnage. If we look at it a bit further up from the sky, we can see that SLRN is just satisfied doing their own little waving about, and RDNN is trying to get a hold of at least one or two guys, it seems. They have closer distance now, they just need to get their DPS going. Maneuver gonna go for an exchange with Helger, it seems. That is something that you'll feel if you're in Cerberus. Some very trivial damage there. But it's actually Freddy that's gonna back up Maneuver at this point, to an extent which motivates Helger to expand his broadside. And Maneuver is going to accept this one-on-one duel, this exchange of side structure, and this will put an end or two in the Cerberus. I think Helger might need to turn his ship a bit more. So if Snoopy manages to angle his armor, there he goes, just in time. That was a good broadside. And now it's interesting to see how fast SLRN can get back towards Maneuver. I'm not saying that RDNN has already cut him off, but at least they're caught up to him. And if they want, they can try and get a 2 versus 1 or 3 versus 1 situation going. But at the same time, and this is quite nice to see, SLRN is just covering the retreat or the reunification attempt of Maneuver with the rest of his fleet, and Helger is just gonna pay the price for that. At the moment we see that both Danish strengths have taken well, decent damage. One of the sides has been reduced to like 50-60-ish%. And the SLRN strings are doing relatively fine. Maneuver is barely scratched. Let's not make it worse than it is. But if Helger can get another good broadside in on Maneuver, he's gonna feel that. Alright, so now we see SLRN spreading out a bit. RDNN very eager to just close in and go for the engagement with the strings. and somewhat leave the Cerberus alone. I think we saw some proper mast shots there from Kloothommel on the Master Freddy. And now we're getting a dual broadside into Helger. Who can sustain this at this point? Like, his damage is significant, but by no means it's critical. But you don't want to be in a prolonged engagement where you are losing both your sides at the same time. If you engage an enemy with one broadside, you take one broadside damage and he does the same. And you continue that until one of your side structures is just absolutely gone. That's actually fine, as long as in a later stage of the engagement you can get your weak side towards the enemy. Your strong side, and attack his weak side. And downside is, if you take fire on two sides continuously, you'll just... well... you can't do that. You can't do a little switcheroo in the end. Just seeing what's about to happen. Helger going in the middle of the British strings. I expect him to do a few broadsides soon in the background for the scenery. That was pretty nice. In the background we saw Cold Thorn going after Maneuver, who is, I hope for him, reloaded. Perfect. Cold Thorn has a left loader, but Maneuver might steer away enough for him to bounce at least some of the shots. Let's see how that goes. No, it seems like most of them are still penetrating at this angle. Back up front, we see Helger has taken, yeah, a lot of damage at this point. This is somewhat good though, because his left side is strong enough, and you can see that he currently has a beam reach position with wind coming from his left, meaning if he were to just simply turn right in a bit, his strong side would be towards the SLRN strings, and he could continue to tank some damage. But yeah, it's a bit of an awkward position, and I would not be surprised if Snoopy's gonna link up with Maneuver to just try and get rid of the remaining side structure of Helga, while Freddy Krueger, who's doing relatively fine, is gonna go for the one-on-one engagement with Kloothommel, the Danish Cerberus. So what we're currently seeing is just a very spread out engagement. You could almost say it's almost turning in 3 separate 1v1 engagements.
Hey, wake up.
1 minute. Alright. So yeah, I'd say with the damage done on Helga, SLRN is in a fairly comfortable position. They're just gonna try and, I think, focus on Helga. Snoopy is attacking through the wind, Maneuver's doing the same, and Freddy's coming up as well. That's the beauty of it. They're currently going after a specific target, but in the meantime they are still able to keep that DPS up. Or DPM, I think would be a better term in this game. Freddy now has a strong side towards Kloothommel. Snoopy coming up, so Kloothammel's got to make a move in a bit. Helga has a strong side, so that's good for the Danish guys. You can see the Danish are somewhat consolidating at this point. Would be an interesting play to see if they can, like, at this point break out towards a direction. Maybe go after Freddy Krueger, who's currently turning right. But we'll see what their move is in a minute. Oh, wow. That was fast and somewhat unexpected. I'm not sure how many broadsides he had in his mast, but it's actually the first one I noticed they shoot into it. And he already demasked the Cerberus. Oh, that's spicy. Kloothammel's going for the repair straight away. Good call. can't be isolated like that. His ship is not sturdy enough to tank damage by 2 Trings that are in the vicinity. SLRN at this moment are receiving hits in the mast as well, especially if I look at Snoopy on the left. But if RDNN wants, they can just sail towards Freddy and try either get a mast of Freddy and shoot his hull afterwards, or the other way around. Either of which would actually work perfectly. Snoopy is in the attack, Maneuver is still trying to get out. If Coldthorn were to just sail straight for Freddy, I think he could have bought them some time and at least get a proper 2-on-1 engagement going. I think that's something RDNN could use quite badly at this point. And you see RDNN is actually going for the stern rake on Freddy instead of the sails. Albeit that he shot, I think his previous broadside, he did shoot into his mast. One could argue that it would be interesting for our SLRN to shoot 1 or 2 broadsides of chain into Clothomel, because you know he already expanded the sail repair. So every damage you do now and on the subreddits is relatively easy with 18-pounder guns, or carronades in this instance, even heavier, to inflict heavy damage. And you can just render him effectively immobile at that point. Helga trying to battle it out with Freddy. Not really convinced by this, and I'm gonna slow my ship down. Not close to the circle yet, but I'd rather do it now than interrupt the footage in a minute when it's more critical. So currently we have a 1-on-1 and a 2v2 engagement going on. Maneuver is taking the damage from Coldthorn and Clothomel. Oh wow, I was about to say Coldthorn isn't looking too healthy, but I'm looking at Snoopy, I'm not really convinced either. Well, that's gonna be interesting, because Clothomel is nearly equivalent to Maneuver at this point. But we do have Helga in the front, who lost his right broadside, his right side structure. And he's desperately in need of a break. So let's see how it turns out. Helga going for the tag, trying to get his strong side again into the fray. But he's gonna have a problem since Maneuver and Snoopy are gonna come up. Oh, Coldthorn. Absolutely melted in the last few broadsides there. Now wish for RDNN that I could say the same for Snoopy. Yes, there we go. With another broadside of Clothomel, Snoopy is gonna be forced to spend his repair very, very soon. Alright. So yeah, Snoopy's repairing, Clothomel isn't, Coldthorn is, Maneuver isn't, Helga isn't, and Freddy isn't either. So we have 2 of each team that have decided to spend their, or expend their repair. And it's quite interesting. Snoopy is gonna definitely take a break, but the question is, what is Helga gonna do? Because at this point, every damage he takes is just dead damage. Meaning, he can return fire and damage an enemy ship, but the return fire he takes will not really do much except for kill a few crew, maybe cause a few leaks. But if your ship is capable of taking that, look at Freddy's broadside. Freddy's broadside is melting. Helga's left broadside is gonna take some proper damage as well. But all damage a Maneuver does is just shot into a side structureless side. As long as Helga isn't having a massive influx of water, he can just maintain the situation. He can just stay in this position and trade fire, because every broadside maneuver is gonna do nothing, but he's gonna lose his actual side structure over it. In the back we have Snoopy trying to get away from Coldthorn as well as Clothomel. If RDNN can get the drop on Snoopy, That would be very interesting to see. Freddy's coming over. Mind you, Freddy hasn't repaired yet. And Helga, I would like to see Helga battle it out with Maneuver at this point. And by the sail positioning, he's turning right, probably preparing himself for a right broadside. And he's still not repairing. I wonder if at some point Maneuver's just gonna decide, yeah, no, I'm not gonna waste my side structure for this. I'm not gonna take damage that I can't dish out. A viable tactic actually would be if an enemy denies his repair, you can just shoot Grabe in it and absolutely murder his crew. But that's a side note. Snoopy just chilling in the back here at this point. Clothorn trying to get to him. In the meantime, we got Freddy Krueger, who's gonna engage Clothorn as well as Coldthorn. Interesting. Just trying to estimate where the main fight is gonna take place. Obviously, they're currently fighting, and the moment suprême. I think that's what I'm trying to say. When/where is that gonna happen? And Helga is currently just trading against Maneuver's weak side, who's on fire as well. Clothorn and Coldthorn going at Freddy Krueger at this point. If Coldthorn can minimize the damage he's gonna take, it would be possible for them to get rid of Freddy's side armor before Coldthorn, well, will be forced to sink. Because Coldthorn isn't healthy on his left side. Isn't healthy at all. We have Helga quite low in the water at this point. I'm wondering, did I miss his repair at some point? That would be quite bad, but I was fairly sure that he didn't repair just yet. Maybe I overlooked it and maybe someone in chat will correct me, but if I see this kind of water influx, I begin to wonder, and there he goes. Wow. Did I miss his repair? I must have. Otherwise he would have repaired. Oh, this quite changes my, or at least the general view of the battle. Obviously, SLRN has a comfortable lead now. Maneuver hasn't repaired yet. Freddy hasn't repaired yet. Coldthorn has his weak side towards Freddy, and he'll get punished for that. In the background, we have Snoopy, who repaired, but still is looking decently. Going at it with Clothorn. Trink having a heavy broadside. Don't think it would be good for Clothorn to accept that engagement. It would be interesting for Clothorn to focus on Freddy as well, giving Coldthorn some breathing space. But I must admit, it was quite a slap in the face, because I was adamant. I was so sure Helga still had a repair. Irregardless, as soon as the stream is done, I'm gonna look back and see where he expanded, or maybe ask him if he's willing to have a post-battle chat. So yeah, what we're gonna see in a minute, I think they're gonna leave Coldthorn be, maybe Freddy, detach Freddy to attack Coldthorn, and Maneuver and Snoopy are just gonna go after Clothorn. It was a fast fight. Oh, Freddy just popped his repair. Irregardless, it was a very fast fight. I think we are about 20 minutes on the clock at this point. And with Coldthorn's left side gone and Clothorn being in the middle of these two, I'm fearful for his durability as well. Maneuver just taking it easy, trying to get next to Clothorn. Freddy with a long range fire support. Judging by the side structure, Freddy will have in a minute, and Snoopy has. It's more of a cleanup action at this point. Albeit that shit, I'm actually somewhat sorry that I missed the repair, because if he would have a repair, look at Snoopy, right? I'm not saying it would have been easy to sink him, but if you have a drink with 30% side structure extra on each side, that's a good deal. That's a very good deal. I mean, Cold Thorn would have been done anyways, but Snoopy would not have been able to brawl it out with a healthier drink. Maneuver, nah, he has a repair, but Clothorn's gonna force that repair. I'm fairly sure he'll be able to do that. Maybe with assistance from Cold Thorn. Freddy, on the other hand, would have been the main problem then, but at least he would have had a better fighting chance and another ship that could pour DPM in. Just trying to think back at which point he could have spent the repair, but none really comes to mind. Snoopy probably decided to take it easy in the back, or... Oh, he's actually steering back towards the engagement, never mind. I figured he was just gonna take it easy since he spent his repair, isn't particularly healthy. Why risk it? You never know what can happen. Theoretically, you can shoot one of the enemy ships and they can go all fire ship on your ass, and or at least trying to get some battle rating out of you. For people that don't know, initially what counts towards your winning score is the amount of victories, draws, defeats you have. 3 points for a victory, 1 for a draw, 0 for a defeat. And if teams are tied, it's about the battle rating they managed to sink of the enemy team, minus the battle rating they lost during battles. And the goal of this is to allow teams that decisively win and are capable of losing the least amount of ships to effectively go to the next round when the scores are tied. Yeah, Maneuver still not in need of a repair. He has a strong side towards the enemy, he can just continue. Freddy has plenty of side structure left to engage Cold Thorn. And Snoopy, as I initially misinterpreted, is coming back towards the fight and help his friends out. I think a few more broadsides will force Cold Thorn to go down if needed, and it's actually quite a viable tactic to just shoot grape in, because if you want to keep a ship this side afloat, at some point you'll just be in need of 100 crew in survival alone. It might be stable, but you still need 100 crew. And what is underappreciated is if you just decrew an enemy ship, it's very hard to bail water out. And for the second time there goes a mass of Clothorn. And at this point he's just a sitting duck. Maneuver, Freddy, they'll just utilize it. Snoopy is somewhat kicking it relaxed in the back there. Just, you know, I am going towards a fight, I'm not gonna fully disengage, but it doesn't really look like he's going in for the... Or at least he doesn't have the speed at this point to get very fast and close into the action. Freddy needs to be mindful of his right side. Maneuver, I think Maneuver, even though it's a Cerberus, would be the best guy to tank the damage. And maybe they're able to get some battle rating damage done on SLRN, which would be very interesting to see. Clothorn obviously being slower at this point, but at least he can still do some damage, and if they can maybe get a ramming league on Freddy, or at least get a sight down. Oh, this actually would be interesting if Cold Thorn has survival modules stacked, right? And for example, Freddy doesn't. Freddy's gonna be in a problem because he already repaired. And he's gonna be facing a Cerberus, and Cerberus can be a bitch to kill. Yeah, Freddy reefing his sails. Probably trying to slow down, minimize the crew needed for different tasks, reduce the water intake. Question is, what is Freddy doing? As in, what did he do? Did he bring survival modules? Yes or no? And Coldthorn at this point can shoot his from his absolutely destroyed side. He can shoot on Snoopy. What an incredible plot twist would it be if Freddy would not be able to keep his ship afloat while Coldthorn would be able. And if Clothorn can just keep his head above the water for as long as needed against Snoopy. Oh boy, that would be interesting, because even though the RDNN guys might be on the brink of sinking or about to sink, with Freddy down one side and Snoopy not being healthy, oh, that would be an interesting change of events. I'm very tempted to just go back and forward and check on Freddy's water level. It's fairly difficult to see from time to time, especially with the waves, but that was a good broadside on Snoopy by Coldthorn. This can either be incredibly close or not close at all, meaning either RDNN is gonna lose all two of his ships and gonna take none of SLRN with them, or they're gonna get lucky and Freddy sinks and Snoopy sinks, because that would be an incredible turn of events. I'm not saying they're gonna be able to sink maneuver as well, but at least they're gonna, which would be interesting. The most interesting for an objective viewer to see is to just see as many ships sink as possible. I'm fairly sure maneuver will stay alive, but you never know. It's a Serb at the end of the day. They're not particularly strong. I'm inclined to say that he's not sinking at all at this point. Just so slow, so stacked with modules that he's not gonna sink unless paid additional attention to. I'm gonna slow down the camera a bit because I notice I'm just spazzing around. Oh, I'm actually so intrigued to see what's gonna happen to Snoopy. Because if Snoopy's gonna sink, it's not close, but you know, theoretically, if Snoopy's gonna sink, or Freddy. Oh, Freddy! Remember guys, they have until the 30-minute mark. Freddy's actually very low at this point. And there goes Freddy. Oh, is this gonna be the biggest plot twist so far? Coldthorn and Clothorn will still alive and kicking. Coldthorn less oh, and there goes Snoopy! The plot twist! It has happened! Wow! Now maneuvers on his own against two RDNN guys, of which admittedly Clothorn isn't looking healthy either, but if SLRN wants to take the win, they have to kill both the RDNN guys. This is something I did not see coming. I mean, I said theoretically, but that didn't mean I was within reason expecting it to happen. Wow. So if maneuver might just go pragmatic at it, just go towards Clothorn first, who is immobilized, and get him to sink first? Or is he already taking water? I'm not sure. Yeah, he's already taking sufficient water. So if maneuver can stay afloat against these two guys, wait until Clothorn is dead, minimize the damage taken in the meantime, and then just do whatever maneuver does best to kill Coldthorn. He has the time. Remember, he has still 25 minutes and 40 seconds till the very second to win. He just needs to get rid of this guy first. And not get demastered in the process, because that would be disastrous. Because Coldthorn, I'm gonna be careful with my words, but I think he's not taking a single drop at this point. Kloothommel, I'm not gonna say the same of, because I know he's slowly filling up. I'm not sure how bad it is, to be honest. And Maneuver just minimalizing the damage he's gonna take until I think Klothommel's gonna sink. Which is a good move, let me add that. It's a good move. I'm curious, what do you guys think is gonna happen? Do you think SLRN, or Maneuver in this case, can come back, get Kloothommel down, and then focus down Coldthorn? What do you think is gonna happen? I seriously don't have a clue. There goes Kloothommel. So at this point, the win would still be for RDNN. Because RDNN has killed more of the enemy battle rating than SLRN has of RDNN. Quick calculation, the SLRN battle rating loss is 2 trinks, so that's 400. And the RDNN players have lost 300. Yeah, 300 battle rating. This is intense. I think Maneuver will just play it out, just wait for his time to strike. I mean, Coldthorn has taken the beating. Maneuver still has some side structure. It's gonna be yeah. Question, can you run and invade? The answer is no. To an extent you're allowed to, as in if you want to repair your ship, get out of the fight for a bit, that's all allowed within reason, right? At this point Maneuver was still fighting Kloothommel to his left side, minimizing the damage you take, waiting for Kloothommel to sink, and if Maneuver's come back to the fight, I think that's fair and within the limit of the rules. I'm so tempted to just wait, what exactly did I type? Continue running will result in a warning to engage. Running itself is not allowed. Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see what the time is. It's 51:50. So let's judge what Maneuver's gonna do, and from there look. Because if Maneuver, I reckon he just wants to get on the weak side. It's gonna take his time for it. I think that's within reason. Coldthorn closing in. Maneuver probably just trying to make the best of his position. I'm just so curious what the end result will be. Hit and run shots are viable. Trying to cause a long range leak on Cold Thorn, seeing if he can spring a leak. I think it's a clever play. Yeah, there's nothing much to say at this point. Just seeing what happens, really. I mean, Cold Thorn is, yeah, you'd argue, as Freddy said, how has he not sunk? A maneuver is just waiting out his reloads while getting some distance, it seems, and then just turning to shoot that broadside. And he's reloading. You know, you lose crew during battle, stuff gets damaged. And there are Romas. Yeah. Running out of words. I don't think Cold Thorn is even taking water, and if so, it's gonna be incredibly slow. And I wonder if it would be. I'm gonna mind if Maneuver is even deciding to engage at some point, because if he is gonna run, that's gonna result in the question to engage. But yeah, I think SLRN is just trying to. I'll just give him the reminder. No, that's not exactly how I want to phrase it. If he's gonna continue. If he turns to engage in a minute, I think it's fair. If he doesn't, then he's gonna get a warning for running. Given the circumstance, I think it's only just. I get very well where SLRN is coming from. They want to play time, but if you just run away for a long time, I think it was around 52 that he just started to run away, did a few broadsides. I'm not saying that he has to get in and brawl, but if you just run away, matches tend to be very linear. And exactly what he's doing now, shooting a broadside and turning back, is just fine. I'm not saying that, and that's at least how I interpret it. The thought behind the rules is you don't have to continuously engage, you don't have to get in and brawl, but at least shown signs that you are going to. Nah, it seems like he's going to continue to engage perfectly fine. I thought he was just going about a shot once, let's continue the running parade we're on. Then I would have been like, alright, that's not fair, but come on. I'm waiting for either RDNN to sink or maneuver to just get a broadside and sink as a result of that. Time's at 44. Cold Thorn now able to shoot the sides of maneuver. Maneuver got a shot off at the side of Cold Thorn. Question, I'm not 100% sure. Irregardless, Cold Thorn is able to shoot maneuver.
User joined your channel.
Hey, thank you for joining.
No problem, buddy.
Yeah, we're on stream, we're live. What we're currently seeing, I don't know if you have the stream link pulled up. Since 52, give or take, maneuver has disengaged from Cold Thorn, shooting a broadside every now and then. Which at some point led me to just give a warning, hey, don't just run and do nothing. And what we see from roughly 42 onwards, that maneuvers upwind and just laying still.
This is this guy with the green name, yeah?
Yeah. And I just want to get your thoughts. The problem is, the situation is, maneuver side structure is low. And Cold Thorn is low as well, but Cold Thorn has been low on his left and right side for a long time, and he's just taking water. But maneuvers being extremely passive.
When was the last time maneuver tried to engage in anything?
Well, he shot a broadside sporadically every now and then. I think a minute and a half ago, when maneuver turned towards to go even further, when he shot and Coldthorn got some shots off, and since 42 roughly onwards, maneuver's just slowing down and laying still at this position. So I kind of want to get your thoughts in, so at least it's not a one-man decision, and yeah, see what you think.
Where are the other 2 people from each team?
Sorry?
It's the 3v3, isn't it?
The other
Where's-
have sunk.
Well, they
Both
all
sides have
sunk.
lost 2 ships.
I
And
see a guy in your chat. He's saying he's not running, but the rule is about when, in terms of running, the basis of the rule about running is that you're attempting to avoid combat. This
alright,
guy is clearly attempting to avoid it. I'd say to him he has to make some sort of effort. I'm presuming the reason he's not moving is because he's worried about getting shot, and then he'll start sinking. So he is clearly trying to avoid any sort of combat. So issue him a warning there, because you can't just sit there like that.
the thing is, I initially gave him a warning because he just ran away for several minutes on end. I think it was like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah. And what did he do when you did that?
But it actually seems like maneuver's gonna sink before Coldthorn might be. Irregardless, if this is gonna be too close of a call, I'm gonna leave it up for joint decision and maybe in hindsight, because
Yeah.
one could argue that, and there goes maneuver, and that's actually the end of it.
You could argue that he's being strategic, but at the same time, if he's been previously running away and trying to avoid combat, this is another way for him. This is exact. If he wasn't trying to avoid combat, he would actually try to do something. He's obviously put all his sails down, and he's put all of his crew on survival.
I agreed.
That's taken on water. That's pathetic.
I just wanted to ensure that, you know, in case of, and
Don't think there.
it did, yeah, he sunk, he just sank.
Thank Christ.
and,
Okay, that makes things easier.
yeah, exactly. But it just comes to show how well a ship can survive if it's stacked
That's the thing,
with
yeah.
modules and not getting shot at. Because that's kind of the major thing. If you shoot at a ship that's low, you can sink it. It's just if you don't shoot it, then it becomes harder.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump.
User joined your
Ah.
channel.
Hey guys.
User joined your channel.
Hey,
Hey.
Oh, that was close. How
That
full
was-
were you?
that was mechanics.
Yeah.
Jesus.
For sure, 95. All right, the thing I did, and I brought Neen here as well. He's one of the judges. To at
User
least
joined your
discuss
channel.
what our
User
take
joined your
was.
channel.
Hey guys.
Did you guys well played? Let's say.
User
It
joined
was
your
the
channel.
mechanics with the pump master and the golden pump and that kind of stuff. It is
Well,
annoying.
He managed to stay alive for like 20 minutes plus. I haven't been
Yeah.
counting, but
Yeah, on the
wasn't
plus
safe.
side, Helger forgot his repair kits.
I was about to say, I was looking at your ship throughout the stream, and I was like, where did he repair? Seriously, where did he repair?
No, I didn't repair. I seriously fucked up.
Who of you didn't load cannons initially, just out of curiosity? Was
That
it
was
you?
also me.
That was Helger as well.
Wow, fair enough. Yeah, what did you guys think? Was it how did it play out?
Well done, guys.